Hello again, it's me, Saskia. Welcome to day 7 of the Tourette Challenge. I actually made a little bit of a mistake. When I was looking at the pre-program questions from the Tourette Association, there's 9 instead of 7. So I'm actually going to answer 2 in today's video, which are statements for brevity's sake. The first question is a statement. Tourette syndrome is not. Tourette syndrome is not a disease. Tourette syndrome is not contagious. You cannot catch it. You cannot contract it. If you hang out with somebody with Tourette's, it will not rub off on you. So you will not start ticking. Tourette syndrome is not a mental illness. Tourette syndrome is not the butt of a joke. I think this is important. Hollywood and some comedians still think it's hysterical to make fun of Tourette syndrome, and it's kind of like the easy pot shot to make. Sometimes the joke is really funny, and other times it's like, what? Really? No. We don't make fun of people with autism. We don't make fun of people with Down syndrome. We don't make fun of people who have physical handicap. We don't make fun of people who have a limb amputated. We don't make fun of people with mental illness. This is a collective whole in general. So we need to put a kibosh on making fun of Tourette syndrome because it's not okay. Those of us with Tourette's, we do have a great sense of humor. That's how we get through the living with Tourette's. But for me personally, negative humor is just, I know people do use negative humor a lot to like banter and flirt, and it kind of is like, oh, you got roasted, oh, you got burned, and sometimes it can be funny, but other times, no, it's just kind of insulting and sometimes hurtful, because they say truth is in humor, and well, did they really mean that mean thing they said? But they were joking, so we need to put a kibosh on that. Also, Tourette syndrome has no cure. That needs to be changed. That needs to be fixed. I don't know how probable it is, though. We still don't know the real nature of Tourette syndrome, so finding a cure is probably a long way off. The closest that I guess we could come is something that was developed for Parkinson's. It's called deep brain stimulation. And it's brain surgery. 2 microchips go in the thalamus of the brain, run down the neck with wires connected to 2 pacemakers underneath the clavicle. And then the frequency is tuned on after the brain surgery and everything. And that sends out a pulse, a signal that literally overrides the misfiring of the neurons. When I was in college, I was like, yeah, I will be part cyborg. So I actually signed up for it. Then I watched The Manchurian Candidate and some other movies, and I was like, no, I don't like the idea of somebody or something in my brain possibly controlling my movements, even if it means being tick-free. I only know of one girl who had a really severe case of Tourette. She was like on 2020 or in NBC Dateline, one of those TV shows, about 8 years ago. And she's living tick-free, but she did have the deep brain stimulation. And that brings us to the second question. What helps me manage the tics I have? Sleep. Seriously, sleep. I call it sleep therapy. I do need about 8 to 9 hours of sleep in order to not tick as much. I don't get it though. I get maybe 6 to 7 hours of sleep. It is what it is. I try to make it up when I can. I also avoid caffeine. I don't drink any sodas, but I do drink sweet tea. But only on occasion. Maybe like once a month. I do love sweet tea. I'm a Southern girl at heart. I'm never giving it up. And I do love chocolate. What I've learned over the years is obviously moderation, but I've also learned that I can't let the tics dictate whether or not I'm going to enjoy a sweet tea or I'm going to enjoy a Reese cup or a Kit Kat. I just know when not to and when to enjoy it. Exercise is also extremely important because exercise helps balance out dopamine and serotonin levels. So it also decreases cortisol levels, which is a stress hormone. So it's a great de-stressor. Stress increases tics. So that combined, that endorphin rush, that just helps minimize the tics. For me, mixed martial arts, I trained at Tiger Schulman's on Staten Island. If you're watching, hello, anybody from there. And then I trained Tiger Schulman's in Marlborough, New Jersey, and then Old Bridge. That was such a huge, huge part of my life. It was my sanctuary. I found such peace there. I loved it. I still miss it. Something like I didn't tick when I sparred. I didn't tick when I grappled. I didn't tick when I just punched the bag. It was like true therapy for my body and my mind. Unfortunately, I had to retire. Too many neck injuries and a shoulder injury. So I didn't have a choice. I still do get a kickbox twice a week. It's not the same. There's no sparring, but at least it's something. And I jog and do bar class and a bunch of other stuff. So I work out 4 times a week. That's very important. And that does help. I also do massage therapy and chiropractor. That's for the car accident injuries, but it's also for tic management. I do take medication. That does help. I also listen to certain kinds of music at night. Andre Bocelli, Enya, Josh Groban, and Darren Hayes. I love Darren Hayes. You might know him from Savage Garden. I just know him as Darren Hayes. Something about his music, it touches my heart, obviously, but it soothes the burning sensation in my brain. I don't know why. I can't explain it. But I will put on one of his records on my iPod and just listen to it as I sleep. And that burning sensation just it disappears. So it's like music therapy. So that's about it. Pretty simple, pretty standard. Probably not that interesting. My challenge for you is the next time you see someone who is doing an odd gesture or maybe ticking, now that you know what tics look like, instead of thinking, oh my God, what's wrong with that person? You'll know, oh, maybe they have Tourette's. And I challenge you to get to know them. Maybe you know somebody already with Tourette's, or maybe you haven't met somebody. Well, you have if you met me. But my challenge is to get to know somebody with Tourette's, or even somebody who's just different, whether it's physically, culturally. Just get to know somebody, see past this physical shell we live in. And my other challenge is talk to a stranger this week. Have a conversation with a stranger. Just strike one up and get to know somebody, because you never know what pearls of wisdom will come up. You'll never know what they can offer your life. You never know who you're going to meet. I personally have a rule for me, and this is stretching. It's outside of my comfort zone, but I do it. Every week I talk to 2 new people. Wherever I am, doesn't matter. I just strike up a conversation with 2 strangers. Because the truth is, strangers are just friends we haven't met yet. I think that's a pretty good rule to live by. And it is a challenge, but it's worth it. Because I've met some amazing people just having random conversations. So that is my challenge. Thank you again for watching. Like, share, comment, post any questions you might have. Sharing obviously continues to get the word and awareness of Tourette Syndrome out. I really appreciate it. There's only one more video left, probably be the hardest one that I do, so that will probably be posted Monday. I need a day to just really work on it and get the emotional aspect to it correct. I hope you have a great day. Have a great Memorial Day weekend. Don't forget to think of veteran and remember those who died so we could have the lives we live today. I think that's really important. So thank you again. Stay tuned for that video on Monday. I love you guys. Have a good night. Bye.